Hey everybody, this is Mike with On Point Preparedness. Apologies up front, this is going to be a really unpolished video, but I just have to talk about this right now. Just right now. I'm going to be doing a full-fledged video on this, but it's going to take me some time to research, maybe a week or two, maybe more. But I am really looking forward to seeing your comments on this topic because you may know more than I do, which is a little bit embarrassing for me because what I'm about to describe to you, this is something, this civil war that I'm going to speak of, this has been going on for 300 years. And so with all my research on the Catholic Church and Jesuits and Freemasons, I'm surprised that I actually never came across this. But let me just backtrack a second here and tell you what's going on here. I'm researching a story for you guys, and it involves the Pope and Donald Trump potentially meeting in May. Some are saying that that meeting is now called off, but it involves them. It involves Steve Bannon, who has been essentially let go from the Trump cabinet. It also involves an individual named Cardinal Burke here. And so I started following this rabbit hole down deeper and deeper and deeper, and I end up here on EWTN, which is the Global Catholic Television News Station. And I gotta tell you guys, absolutely nothing exciting comes out of EWTN. I don't know if you've ever watched EWTN, but it is quite possibly the most boring television newscast ever. Except for this. This is the official EWTN website. And you can see right here on the front, the title, Pope ordered Cardinal Burke to clean out Freemasons from the Knights of Malta. All with the Freemasonic compass, the all-seeing eye, everything right on EWTN of all places. And the article alludes to the fact of what the title says here, that the Cardinal Burke, who is a liaison to the Knights of Malta, was strictly told, find all the Freemasons, get them out. And if you recall a little while ago, there's been a big shakeup in the Knights of Malta. And so Pope Francis actually asked the leader to resign. And actually this Cardinal Burke, you can see here on this article talking about Cardinal Burke and his opposition to Pope Francis called the Dubia, and his thoughts on the Freemasons and everything. He's actually no longer the liaison to the Knights of Malta. He's been removed. So there's this major shakeup going on between all these individuals and the Knights of Malta, and this weird dynamic between Pope Francis, a Jesuit, and the Freemasons. And so as I start to research this more and more and more, I found out that, actually it says it here on the EWTN website. Check this out on comment. 2017 marks the 300th anniversary of the foundation of Freemasonry. Man, talk about 2017 just being full of stuff, right? So 2017, October 31st, this is the 500-year anniversary of the Protestant Reformation, something that Pope Francis is trying to drive unity on. 2017 is the 300th year anniversary of the foundation of Freemasonry. 2017 also has the Revelation sign in the sky, amongst a whole bunch of other things. I mean, it's just adding up to be crazy, but nonetheless, it's their anniversary, but this civil war actually dates back over 100 years ago. So on the 200th anniversary of the foundation of Freemasonry, Maximilian Kolbe witnessed the Freemasons conduct a religious ceremony in Rome in St. Peter's Square, and they actually had banners declaring Satan must reign in the Vatican. So check this out. I mean, here's some renditions of the parade in 1917, the Masonic funeral parade, but they were actually, carrying out banners about how the Pope will be a slave to Satan. Satan must reign in the Vatican. The Pope will be his slave. And there's actually some books on it, which I'm going to have to go to the public library and read up on this one called Alta Vendetta, a Masonic blueprint for the subversion of the Catholic Church. So I'm confused. I am confused. Maybe some of you know more about this than I do. I don't know if this is Hegelian dialectic. I don't know if this is true civil war, but it's rather confusing because Pope Francis, a Jesuit, is definitely acting as the false prophet. He's definitely trying to heal the wound, as I've stated in my other videos. He's trying to bring all the world religions together. And so he is definitely no saint. But he's trying to push out Freemasons from his ranks. And there's actually a long-standing history of Freemasons trying to take over the Catholic Church. So it doesn't quite make sense, right? Because whenever you hear people talk about the Illuminati and Freemasons and the papacy and the government elite and yada, 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 we all think that they're essentially in cahoots with one another. And any opposition that we see on the surface is just pure Hegelian dialectic, just controlling both sides and making it seem like they're opposed. But this isn't mainstream news, guys. EWTN, let's just see here. Is there any shares on this? It doesn't look like it. Maybe like 2 people may have shared an EWTN article. And then not a lot of people know about the history here of these processions happening in 1917. If the elite are truly putting out Hegelian dialectic just for the masses to take one side or another, this civil war between these two groups is not really popular enough to really control the masses or get them on one side or the other, if you know what I'm talking about. So I think there truly is like an oppositional dynamic going on here between Freemasons and the Jesuits in the Vatican. And I'm not quite sure what this all means. Again, I'm just pretty confused. The only thing that's coming to my mind at the moment is a verse in Revelation, and apologies, I'm probably not going to peruse through Revelation to try to find the exact verse, but me just talking about it, someone will pick up on exactly which verse it is. But towards the end of Revelation, the whore of Babylon, which controls the beast system, is actually turned against. And so the beast ravages the whore. And so the papacy, as I've shown you through a lot of the symbolism and a lot of the current news events, this beast system turns against the papacy. And so is this whole dynamic here part of that? The Jesuits now in control of the papacy and trying to push out the Freemasons. Are the Freemasons going to then turn against the harlot? I don't know. This is all very confusing to me. That makes sense, but then again, Christ said that a kingdom cannot be divided against itself. So what does that mean? I don't know. Maybe even though if they're really fighting against one another, it's just man fighting man, and so it really isn't kingdom against kingdom. This is a spiritual versus a human war. So sure, if the Jesuits and the Freemasons end up duking it out in the end times, and the Freemasons end up consuming the harlot and taking her out, well, then Satan's like, oh, whatever, I don't care. It's more people that are being lost and not led to Christ. I still win. Perhaps that's the case. So, just thinking out loud here, maybe this is part of that dynamic of Revelation, where we will truly see two sides play out here and go against one another, and it's really driven on one side by the Jesuits and another side by the Freemasons. Again, it's because of this long-standing Civil War history dating back at least 100 years, if not more, since Freemasonry will be only 300 years old here. It was probably called another name before that, these secret societies, but anywho, that was a mouthful. That was a lot to take in. And I'm sure some of you are wondering, like, how exactly did I end up here? Especially when I was talking about Donald Trump and Pope Francis and all that. But again, you just start going down the rabbit hole and you go down some pretty crazy paths. I mean, here's another one. This is one of the articles on my way down the rabbit hole. Jesuit priest stokes fake war between Pope Francis and Steve Bannon. So again, I'm wondering, Steve Bannon is definitely against the Pope. And he is friends, and he's very closely aligned with Cardinal Burke. So Cardinal Burke is one of the 4 cardinals that has opposed the Pope, and he's been relieved of some of his duties. He is close allies with Steve Bannon, and Steve Bannon was removed from the Trump cabinet. And so what I'm waiting to see here was, did Trump get a nod from the Jesuits to, get rid of him? Because originally Trump wanted to meet Pope Francis in the G7 summit in Italy this May, but now some articles are saying here that Donald Trump, I think there we go. Now they're saying that in an unusual omission, there may not be a Trump-Pope meeting planned. So it's not a flat-out no that they're not meeting. It's just the Trump campaign or the Trump cabinet hasn't actually confirmed a meeting with the Pope. So it's all just very confusing. Like, I have no idea. I just have no idea. I have no idea who's playing what side. Or because there's like multiple fronts here. I don't know. I'm just confused. Now I'm rambling. I should probably just stop this video. But yeah, I think you guys get the message here. There is something super strange going on with this whole Jesuit Freemasonry civil war. It's rearing its ugly head here with a lot of top positions being requested to resign. Yeah, send me your feedback. Help me out here. I'm going to be doing my own research, but again, I really do think that this warrants an official video and try to educate people on exactly what's going on here. So yeah, this is Mike with On Point Preparedness. Appreciate your thoughts. See you guys later.